But kia ora, Josh. Obviously, the Kentucky difference is something that we pride ourselves on. It's how we make ourselves unique in the market. And looking at domestic travel, in our backyard, what's to say that I'm not just going to grab a camper van or my ute and head off myself? What are the differences that we can provide as Kentucky and the TTC to really enhance those experiences for locals and for us here in New Zealand? I thought the best person to explain this is Kentucky Trip Manager Josh. I know, Josh, you've just come off the road. But just talk to me a little bit about how long you've been on the road with Kentucky.
Yeah, morning, Damo. So I started with Kentucky back in 2009 after doing a trip through Europe in 2008. Fell in love with the brand and have been with them ever since, kind of working throughout Europe, Asia, and then obviously back in beautiful Aotearoa.
Cool. And so why do you think, as New Zealanders, it's so important for us to explore New Zealand?
I just think, it really took me to leave New Zealand, to go overseas, experience different cultures, see different countries, the way that people interact with each other, to really realize how beautiful and how lucky we have it right on our doorstep. A lot of people will just do sort of short little weekend ventures away and whatnot, and they'll go to all the major sort of tourist destinations, but there's just so many little hidden gems that, a lot of Kiwis we don't know about.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point. We often know some of the spots that we always go to, maybe our family holiday spot or where our batch is in New Zealand. But it's those real key gems or those moments or those people that we don't get to meet unless we know someone who knows someone. And I think the whole 2 degrees of separation is a pretty good thing here in New Zealand. We could be thinking or forgiven for thinking that we know New Zealand. Talk to me a little bit more about how Kentucky really highlights those little secrets or those little opportunities that would be really hard to do on your own.
I think just as a brand perspective, we do find those little hidden gems, and it's people that, we may stumble across or they may approach us saying that, we've got a really amazing idea. And as a company, with such a huge business background, we can make people's ideas and dreams come true. We can take that that little diamond in the rough and then just help it to shine. It's just something that I think we're really, really good at doing. And then providing that sort of financial stability of continuously bringing customers through there so that these little products can just grow and grow and grow.
You talk about that development phase, and I think, Kentucky, we lead the charge a lot of the time with, being quite dynamic and changing the way we do things to keep up with the market. Can you explain to me a little bit more in depth about some of those partnerships in New Zealand that we've been able to help grow with those local suppliers?
Yeah, there's some really key ones that spring to mind straight away. The likes of a beautiful Southern girl, Laura. She was doing a sort of a corporate world, wasn't happy doing a 9 to 5 sort of, corporate business, and she was getting bored and she's just not enjoying getting up in the morning. And she had a real passion for what she had been brought up with, farm life. A lot of people, especially from the big cities, Auckland, Wellington, if you've not been brought up around the farm, you'll drive past one, you'll see it, sweet, that's it. But, she had an idea of kind of really showcasing what farm life is. And it's just been one of the most amazing experiences, especially for our travellers. It's something that resonates with them for the entire trip, regardless if they're on there for 9 days, 10 days, 14, 16 or 19. They're just constantly talking about how passionate she was about her product and how that was one of their most famous, their favourite experiences throughout New Zealand.
And what would you say has the biggest impact on our travellers as they travel around New Zealand? You speak of, obviously, people like Laura and our chance to fully immerse ourselves in that experience, which we're all about with Kentucky, getting yourselves out of your comfort zone. What do you think has the biggest impact on travellers when they travel with Kentucky in New Zealand?
I think it's just how proud we are as a nation, like as a people. I think regardless if it's someone at a restaurant, a cafe, into a bungee jumping operator, Laura for instance, Jan at Pounamu, Giapo delivering his ice cream. Every single person is there to showcase the Kiwi spirit, showcase who we are as a people, who we are as a nation, and how beautiful it is. So I think it's just from day dot to when they commence their trip and they head home or whatnot, they just get 100% whole way around. And there's people like, I wish my country was like this. You know, people are quite envious of seeing New Zealanders and seeing what we do to take care of each other and the country as a whole. So I think that's one of the main reasons.
How do you think that will work, or how do you think that will look in terms of flipping that on its head and having local people like ourselves meeting and experiencing these local aspects?
Again, I think it will do exactly the same, you know, especially there is some people think there's a big divide between people down south and the North Islanders and which island's better and whatnot. But, you know, I know there's a lot of Southerners that, I've never been up north, you know, and I don't want to go up north. It's too city folk up there, whatnot, you know, that sort of mentality. But I think just the complete difference, you know, one of the main selling regions or selling aspects, what I do to my guys, and they're like, oh, what's the difference? Oh, what do you like, north or south? They're completely different. It's like we have two different dynamic countries all rolled into one. You know, in the north, we've got the metropolitan aspect, we've got the culture, you know, the beautiful beaches, volcanoes. Down south, we've just got sheer, untouched, natural beauty where, you know, everywhere you look, it looks like a green screen. So it's just amazing.
And when you talk about visiting these little places that maybe you don't necessarily get to or even drive past yourself when you're on your own holiday, and getting a chance to meet the Jans, for example, near Franz Joseph with the Pounamu experience, or getting a chance to meet these locals at their home or their whare, you know, how important is the relationship between Kentucky and our travellers with these local suppliers, do you think?
Crucial. It's crucial, you know. Us as a product, you know, we've got an amazing staff that deliver and showcase globally. You know, it's not just New Zealand, it's everywhere. But it's those little suppliers, you know, we could have a beautiful chocolate cake with the most delicious ice cream, you know, icing and everything like that. But it's those little suppliers that put all the sprinkles and the cherries and all the little chocolate buttons on top. You know, they just really, really add to it, and they take the whole product to a complete different dynamic.
Now, we are very lucky to have quite a good relationship with some of these people, you know, with the likes of yourself and the trip managers out on the road, developing those relationships, and of course, the operations side of things too. But are we able to, because traveling with the TTC, to have access to things that other people can't do?
Definitely. You know, there's a lot of sort of special boutique experiences that are just Kentucky only. You know, no other people can get to them. And they love it because they know what kind of clientele that we're bringing in. They know that every single person's coming in with just a positive attitude. They're ready to sort of get their, you know, pull up their socks and get their hands dirty and get involved. Where a lot of other cases, you know, if it's sort of like a big corporation, they kind of sit back and in that mass sort of crowd, you know, and they're still getting an amazing product, but you know, it is kind of just like a number where this is more sort of face-to-face value, a lot more intimate. And people, 100% of people get involved in the product. So that's the main difference.
So I know you love your time on the road, and you're always itching to get back out on there. Every time I talk to you about stories on the road in the office, your face lights up with some amazing memories. Which supplier did you really enjoy visiting the most? I know they're all amazing, and we're not here to play favourites, but what would be your most memorable or your most, I guess, enjoyable moment when you used to go and visit a supplier?
That's a really, really hard question, Damo. It's just a really hard question. It is. It's just so hard. Like all our suppliers are beautiful. It's just like having a whānau on the road, and it's just amazing when there's not many businesses or jobs that you can do around New Zealand or the world where when you turn up, people are sitting there with a massive smile on their face and they're excited to see you. You know, like whenever you're dealing with suppliers or whatnot, as soon as you walk in, they give off this amazing positive radiance. You get a big smile on your face, they get a big smile, and that resonates through the passengers that you're taking around because they're like, oh my gosh, you know these people, they know you. You know, they'll throw out a little joke that happened last time, and then you know the guys will be like, oh, what happened there? So it leads on to different stories. I don't know if I can say a favourite, just because I think everyone in our industry and everyone that's in our extended bubble, the bubble term at the moment, are just incredible.
Yeah, I think you're, highlighting what we in the industry call that jar of magic that often happens when you're on Kentucky. And I tell you what, if we could jar that and give it out to people, that would be definitely onto something there. It's absolutely incredible to try and explain that to
The
someone.
world, yeah, the world would be a better place.
Exactly that, exactly that. Hey, finally, in terms of the questions, what do you think is the big thing that remains with our suppliers? You know, these guys are seeing a lot of our coaches come through, a lot of our travelers during a season, but I absolutely know they love welcoming them through their gates. What sort of stuff do you think remains with our local suppliers the most once that Kentucky coach leaves their property?
I think it's just kind of the respect that the guys show them, and as soon as we leave, they're ready for the next one to come on, and the next one, and the next one. And during the summer period when we're at our busiest, some of our suppliers are seeing us 2 to 3 times a week, but you'll get them at the start of the season, October when we're just starting to ramp in, and then you get them at March when we're just starting to sort of cool down a little bit before winter hits, and they're still delivering the same product from day one to the day end. It's still that high quality, and it's just amazing. Imagine if everyone in the world could perform at 100% every single day, but these guys do, and that's just why they're so special and such a novel part of what we are trying to showcase to the world.
Yeah, I think the passion is what you're hinting at. And, even for our team on the road, like yourself and the trip managers and the drivers, there's no way that you can fake that. And I think that reflects off every single person that gets on and off the coach. And I know that we go to some massive and incredible destinations and some amazing spectacles to see, but what would you say is the biggest or most crucial part about group travel, and particularly with Kentucky?
I think it's the bond. It's just the sort of family aspect, the whānau aspect, as we've spoken about. Just the people experiencing different aspects of the trip, pushing boundaries, achieving goals, and then leaving away. And it's just those memories that you'll never be able to share with anyone else. It's just those knit people that you've got with you, that are around you at the time. You can go home and you're like, oh, mum, or talk to your brother or your sister, your best friend. Oh, I did a bungee jump when I was in Queenstown, and they'll be like, oh, cool, that's awesome. But they won't know that experience. It's only those people that are there at the time that can see the sheer emotion on your face, the sweat dripping down your forehead, your hands, your knees buckling, and they can experience that activity with you. Those are the memories, and that's what makes lifelong friends.
Yeah, 100%. Getting the feels right now. You've nailed it on the head. I think it's awesome. And, that social element of travel is just fascinating. And to get to a point where you are pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and, things taste sweeter with brand new friends and all that jazz as well. So, yeah, I think you nailed it. Just to finish, we'll see how Kiwi you are or which way on the flip side of the coin you are sitting at. So we'll run through a couple of these. And all I basically want is just your quick answers. So we'll start with Marmite or Vegemite.
Marmite, bro.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunset. Savory or sweet?
Savory.
Dogs or cats?
Definitely dogs.
Mince and cheese or steak and cheese?
Ooh, steak, bacon, and cheese. I'm going to throw a little extra in there.
Oh, plot twist on that one. Bush or beach?
Probably beach.
Beach. Ski or snowboard?
Snowboard, of
and
course.
Beer or wine?
Probably vino. Yeah, definitely wine.
Cheeky red before bed, mate. No worries.
cheeky Pinot Noir.
Nice. Awesome, Josh. Thank you so much for your time today, bro. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we can get you back on the road soon. And then we can get, obviously, to some domestic travel, which would be bloody nice as well.